that's why I ended up regaining this weight. We need to chat. So a couple of months ago, when I finished up my fat loss journey, I was extremely burnt out and exhausted. I had big plans to do like a reverse diet and monitor my maintenance and like really work hard to prevent weight regain. And that honestly just did not happen. I stopped tracking calories. I stopped eating mindfully, didn't prioritize my workouts nearly as much as I had previously. And then the holidays hit and I have regained weight. Not muscle, fat. I don't want to share exact numbers because I don't feel like it's super helpful, and I would hate for you to compare yourself to me and feel badly or anything like that. But let's just say it's not like it was a pound or two. It was several pounds. And I gained most of it in a period of like 6 weeks. So it was just not great on my part. It was the holidays, so I do feel like that's pretty normal. I wish it hadn't happened, but I do think it's pretty normal. I wouldn't say that I had a six-pack or anything before, like by any means, but I definitely used to have some nice ab definition, and that is completely gone now. One of the first places that I gain fat is in my stomach. So when I started to regain that weight, yeah, the ab definition is nowhere to be found. So leading up to this summer, I just really want to tighten things up, honestly. You know, kind of an abs comeback. Really, my goal is just to lose some fat and get back on track with prioritizing my workouts, my nutrition, and just my overall health. I thought that some of you out there have to be feeling the same way as I am right now in this kind of like post-holiday haze. Honestly, I woke up this morning and got in my activewear to start filming this vlog and just felt like, I wish I didn't, but I honestly felt really self-conscious and just not good about my physique and how I'm looking right now. And I know it's just a reflection of me not prioritizing my nutrition and my workouts. Let's be honest, like January is just kind of rough, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere. Like the holidays are over. I feel like we're all kind of feeling probably not our best with our physique and health and fitness, and it's freezing cold. The good news is today is Monday and I am basking in the Monday energy. Monday is like the universal back on track day. So if you are also wanting to get back on track with your health and fitness, or even just start your health and fitness journey for the first time, especially if you want to focus on fat loss, in today's video, I'm going to share my process to get back on track and share the tips that I have found really helpful, because let's be clear, this is not my first rodeo. I have fallen off the bandwagon with my health and fitness many, many, many times. I feel like I actually do really know at this point what works. It's just a matter of getting it done. And I'm going to share all of that with you in today's video. Okay, my first tip, or kind of just reminder, is that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So now is a great time to pull out a notebook and pen, or you can do this digitally too. Figure out what getting back on track actually means to you. So I was actually thinking about this and writing this out last night. Does it mean getting more sleep, focusing on hydration, nutrition, getting in more movement? Maybe you have a specific workout plan you want to follow. So while you're writing out your plan, I just find it so helpful. Anything that you can do to reduce friction and make it easier for yourself to actually stick to these goals is going to be so helpful. So one of the easiest ways to reduce friction in my experience is finding a workout plan to follow. Whether you want to take a few minutes to write it yourself, there are tons of free plans online. You could buy a program, whatever's going to work for you and help keep you motivated. I just find it so difficult to walk into the gym every day having no idea what you're going to do. I do have an 8-week fitness plan available. I will link it down below in case you want to check it out. But one thing to note is it really is just designed for like the busy girls. I programmed it to get maximum results in minimal time. So if that's something that would apply to you, then definitely check it out. But if not, there's tons and tons of plans. You certainly don't need to use mine. Having a plan, so helpful. The next tool is something I'm about to use on myself in just a couple minutes. I call it the 5-minute rule. So I basically just trick myself into doing a workout by making my goal just to work out for 5 minutes. So basically just to take that first easiest step towards getting it done, rather than making the goal something really challenging that feels really difficult, like working out for 45 minutes or something like that. On a day like today where I'm feeling really kind of like discouraged and unmotivated and just not in the mood to train, I find that this is the best way to get myself to do a workout. Of course, maybe at the end of the 5 minutes, I'm just not going to be in the mood and I'll just call it a day. And if so, like that's fine. At least I'm kind of building that habit and getting that repetition in. But most of the time I find once I do those first first 5 minutes, I'm actually in the mood and I'm excited to continue doing whatever that thing is. Like I use this for all kinds of stuff, for my workouts, habits I'm trying to build, like reading or journaling or meditating. You can use this for all kinds of stuff. My last tip for now is to get inspired, and that's something I've been doing all this morning. First of all, it's really nice to surround yourself with people who have similar goals. If you have like friends, family, or like a boyfriend, girlfriend who's also into health and fitness. But I also like to do this virtually with the content that I consume online. So I love watching vlogs and YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, following people on social media that inspire me to live a healthy lifestyle. I literally have a saved playlist on my YouTube just of all health and fitness vlogs from different creators that make me feel motivated and inspired when I watch them. And whenever I'm not in the mood and I need to just get in the zone, I'll literally play one of those videos as I'm like getting ready or making my pre-workout or driving to the gym or whatever. And it's seriously so helpful. Another thing that really helps inspire me is music. So I recently actually shared my Spotify workout playlist, and I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. It's just kind of like electronic and pop music. If you don't already have a pump up workout playlist, I highly recommend that you make one right now. I wish I could sit here and talk to you all day, but unfortunately I have committed to doing a workout. I'm just gonna follow a workout from my Ignite 8-week program because I'm honestly too lazy to write my own session right now. So I'll put that up on the screen in case you want to follow along and do it with me. I'm honestly not looking forward to it, but hopefully once my caffeine kicks in, I'll be a little bit more in the mood. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a physique update. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell really the difference. I feel like I can tell because I look at my body every day. Anyway, I used to have pretty good definition here. We're not there anymore. I feel like one of the first places I notice it is in my lower belly. But anyway, not feeling super confident today, but that's okay.
I need time, just a little more time. I need time. I need time, just a little more time. One more time. I need time, just a little more time. I need time, just a little more time. Next to you.
Was that the best workout I've ever done? No. It was longer than 5 minutes. I did 2 rounds of that 5-minute circuit, so better than nothing, definitely, and I'm glad to be like in the swing of things, building the habit, building that consistency, but you know, sometimes when you're trying to get back on track, you aren't gonna have the best, longest session in the world, and I think that's totally fine. I think it's really just about doing something instead of nothing, so I'm gonna call that a win. Honestly, it's just hard. I used to be like such a weapon with ab workouts because I was so focused on my core. These days, even just that 5-minute burner is so difficult for me. Like obviously I want to transform my physique, but also I just want to feel strong and confident in my workouts and in my fitness. I'm excited to focus on that some more. I'm literally shaking sitting here right now. That was so hard for me. Anyway, I'm gonna take a shower and then I'm going to share the most insane smoothie recipe ever. I'm so excited. Okay, I got too hungry waiting to make my smoothie and had a slice of pizza, but that's the fun thing about calorie tracking as a method of fat loss. I can still have foods that I enjoy just in moderation, and I can find ways to work those foods into my day, because for me personally, as soon as I put a specific food or type of food off limits, I get so obsessed. Like I can't stop thinking about it. Obviously, pizza is not like the healthiest food on planet Earth. Personally, I think getting back on track is not about being super restrictive and like only eating clean foods and being really intense about it, because I just don't feel like that's sustainable and long lasting. And that was my mistake last time. I went too hard, I got burnt out, and that's why I ended up regaining this weight. So I feel like now I'm really locked in on like trying to find balance and still have foods that I enjoy in my day-to-day, not be too intense, because I feel like being too intense just leads to burnout and yo-yo dieting and bad things. So anyway, I have not been eating enough fruit lately, so my solution is smoothies. I always throw in some Greek yogurt because it's amazing for gut health. I add my protein at the end because otherwise it gets weirdly fluffy. And look, you don't have to get fancy with the yogurt and spirulina on the side of the cup like I am, but I am a big fan of romanticizing healthy eating, and this kind of thing genuinely makes me excited to eat healthy, so for me it's worth it. If you don't happen to have blue spirulina lying around, I've had the non-blue version of this smoothie many times, and it is, are you kidding, just as good. Not quite as beautiful, but still delicious. I mean, how gorgeous is this smoothie? It's kind of out of control. Don't mind me in my huge fuzzy sweater. It started snowing the moment I sat down to drink my smoothie. And doesn't that just scream smoothie weather? Do you know whose fault it is really that I am trying to force summer in the middle of January? It's because I follow way too many people in Australia and New Zealand in the Southern Hemisphere who are in the absolute peak of summer right now. And I'm here suffering, drinking my smoothie in the snow. It's been like 30 seconds and we've officially lost the code. I want to go through a few of my final tips and the kind of things that I will be thinking about as well, getting back on track over these next few weeks and trying to lose a little bit of fat. I know that's probably a goal that a lot of you guys will have as well coming out of the holidays, so hopefully this will be helpful. The first tip is kind of a classic tip, but I have a sort of different twist on it. It's to set achievable goals, but also be honest with yourself. Realistic does not mean easy. Let's not confuse the two. If you're anything like me, maybe you've been telling yourself for years and years that you can't wake up early because you're not a morning person. Like, let's be honest here. I can wake up earlier. I can start waking up at 6 a.m. every day. If I prioritize it, I can get it done. And I know when I've done that in the past, I feel incredible and it has really positive impacts on basically everything in my life. I need to stop making excuses and just start doing that. Maybe you have a goal like that in your life, whether it's health, fitness, lifestyle, whatever, that you've been avoiding and procrastinating, but you know you could actually achieve. Like, we can all just stop lying to ourselves and get those things done. Just push ourselves a little bit, even just to try it. I'm just going to commit to trying to wake up early for a couple of weeks, see what happens. This next one is something I've been reminding myself a lot of lately. Fat loss is simple, but not easy. Even with a lot of experience losing weight and losing 30 pounds myself, I still find myself overcomplicating fat loss. This is what I'm trying to remind myself, and hopefully will also be a helpful reminder for you if you're thinking about losing fat. To lose fat, all that needs to happen is you need to burn more calories than you consume. This can come from diet, exercise, or a combination of both. I know from personal experience, for me, it has to mostly come from diet. And the reason for that, I don't really have the endurance to be doing a lot of intense exercise throughout the week and recover from that. I often just find myself really worn down and getting sick constantly if I'm exercising too often, which means that I have to really dial in on my diet and my calorie deficit from nutrition rather than getting a lot of that calorie deficit from increasing exercise. But honestly, I think what it really comes down to is just focusing on moving more, whether that's walking more, working out a little bit more often, or even just pushing yourself harder in your existing sessions and finding a way to reduce calories on the diet side a little bit. For me, the easiest way to do that is usually just to eat more fruits, veggies, fiber, and protein, and kind of takes care of itself at that point, honestly. I do still monitor my calories, but I don't track them like super precisely because I've gotten pretty good at knowing what fits into a day and within a deficit. If you want specifics, you can scroll back on my channel. I have tons and tons of videos on fat loss and calculating your calorie deficit, lots of different tips and tools and tracking calories and how you can set all of that up if you do want to get into the kind of nitty gritty. But at the end of the day, it is pretty simple. And if you take these small steps every day and stay consistent, you're going to see results eventually. So that's what I'm trying to remind myself. I'm trying to just be chill and have a little bit more of a balanced approach to it this time, because I think if I'm focusing on balance a little bit more, it'll be easier for me to sustain. So yeah, my personal nutrition goals are to be in a calorie deficit. So I'm going to be tracking like loosely, prioritizing protein and fiber. And I really want to eat more whole foods because especially when I'm in a fat loss phase, I have a tendency to just eat a lot of like ultra processed protein snacks. And there's nothing wrong with like having protein bars and protein chips and like different things like that. Protein's important and it's really good for you. So that's good. But I do feel like it's just not a diet I'm like super proud of. I want to be prioritizing fruits and vegetables and whole foods and things like that. I just feel a lot better, and I know it's better for your gut health and just kind of your health overall to be prioritizing those foods. So I'm going to try and get away from eating the kind of ultra processed protein snacks. That's one of my nutrition goals for right now. But my top priority right now is just to stay in a calorie deficit to lose those few pounds that I need to lose to kind of get back to my physique from a couple months ago. In terms of my fitness goals, I'm just going to be focusing on staying consistent, and I really do think that's the way to go when it comes to getting back on track, restarting or starting your health and fitness journey. How can you show up for yourself every single week and stay consistent? So for me, I do try to exercise like 4 to 5 days a week. So my plan right now is to focus on consistency first and then work on dialing up the intensity and kind of like the quality of the workouts to be a little bit longer, more intense, whatnot, because I think it's really important when you're starting over, restarting, to just build up that habit first before you start trying to make things too intense. You might have noticed that a quote that is kind of sprinkled throughout my channel is "Today's a great day to change your life." That's something that I remind myself of as often as possible, honestly. I think having the mindset that it doesn't need to be Monday, it doesn't need to be the first of the month, it doesn't need to be the new year, there doesn't need to be anything special about today to get out there and start actually achieving your goals and changing your life. I think it's so important to remember that any day, any moment can be the time that we choose to build the life of our dreams, to improve ourselves, to prioritize our health and fitness. I feel like I always need to be reminded I don't need to wait until tomorrow or next week or a future better version of myself who's finally going to be ready to take that step, take that risk, make that change. Honestly, honestly, I woke up this morning and I was not in the mood to make this vlog or to be getting back on track, to be working out, prioritizing my nutrition, eating healthy, all that. But honestly, I have that as my screensaver, and seeing it is such a good reminder that today is always the best day to make a change. Life is way too short to wait until the perfect time, and that honestly, the perfect time doesn't exist. The last thing is that the beginning is always the hardest. Trust me, I'm reminding myself of this right now as much as I'm reminding you. If you can get through those first few weeks or months, it only gets easier and more fun to have a healthy lifestyle. That's what I've just been telling myself over and over, honestly, because let's be honest here, the beginning can be really tough, but I can look back on so many periods of my life where I have just built up these good, healthy habits. It starts to come so easily to you when you actually give it the time and consistency to build those habits. If you're struggling at the start like I am right now, just know it does get easier, it does get more fun. If you're able to just stay consistent, we can all get there eventually, I promise. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog and you found it helpful. If you're also trying to get back on track with your health and fitness like I am, if you'd like to see more from me, make sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you next time.